Contestant number 1, Megan Mayo. Best of times, worst of times. Best of times, worst of times. Megan Mayo.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. When I was in high school, the opening lines to Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities always confused me. In my little high school mind, the two were always mutually exclusive. But back in 2004, my stepdad took us on a trip to Six Flags that made me fully understand the meaning of this term. It was the best trip I've ever had to Six Flags, but it started out the absolute worst. My stepdad, Gary, is a super cool, nerdy, laid-back kind of guy. He kind of quotes Monty Python and has a degree in mathematics. The last place my siblings and I wanted to be was at Six Flags with him. But he offered to pay, and we were in college, so we didn't say no. And we all piled into our van, and my stepdad whistled the whole way Arlington bound. When we got there, the first thing we wanted to do was ride the Texas Giant roller coaster, the biggest wooden roller coaster in Texas. My stepdad practically skipped the whole way there. Come on, guys, let's go. We don't want to be the last ones in line. And we get there at the bottom of the longest line you've ever seen. As we slowly trudge our way up each step, it looked like storm clouds were beginning to gather. Don't worry, said Gary. It's just a Texas storm. It'll blow right over. We get into the car, and we pull down our shoulder harnesses, and I could have swore I heard thunder. And as we're climbing up that hill, and we hit the apex, the sky opened up. And it started pouring down rain. It was too late. They let our car go. Now it might sound kind of fun to go on a roller coaster in the rain. But what you need to think about is that your face is going this way at 100 miles an hour. The rain's coming down this way at 100 miles an hour. And you can't use your arms to block your face because of the shoulder harness. You just look like a T-Rex fighting off a water balloon. And your mouth is open because you're on a roller coaster. I thought raindrops were going to explode out of the back of my head. It felt like Satan himself was giving me a facial with a cement mixer. And when that ride finally stopped and we crawled out of the car, the friendly operator looked at us and informed us that the park was now closed because lightning had been spotted. And weren't we lucky we weren't electrocuted? The four of us kids just glared at him. But the operator informed my stepdad that we were welcome to stay. The park was still open. They were going to see if the storm blew over. And it lifted my stepdad's spirits. And he's like, come on, kids, let's go to the food court. Let's get something to eat. And he sashayed his way over there. We followed behind. As we sat underneath of a leaky awning, eating cold sausages on a stick, all four of us decided it was time for mutiny. And this is important because never before or since have we agreed on anything. We wanted to go home. We wanted to dry off. We wanted to play video games. Each one of us had a better suggestion than sitting at an amusement park getting wet. And at each suggestion, my stepdad's face started to look like the sky above us. It got cloudier and stormier until finally he exploded. Look! I haven't seen you kids since Christmas break, and we all came here to have a good time today. So that is what we're going to do. We are all And I think the weather gods did this too, because magically it stopped raining. The four of us looked from underneath just to make sure that it had stopped. And my stepdad acted like nothing ever happened. So kids, what do you guys want to ride on next? We decided to go back to where it all started. Where at the beginning of the day, our dreams were dashed. The Texas Giant. Bring it on, bro. This time we flew to the top of the ride. There was nobody in front of us. We got into a car. We had the whole car to ourselves. My stepdad sat in the front. My brother sat in the back. Us three girls in the middle. And we went and we whipped around the ride without brain exploding out of our heads, screamed hilariously loud, and had a great time. When our car skid to a halt, we were about to climb out, but the operator looked at us and goes, "There's nobody in line? You guys want to ride again?" We all looked at each other and said, "Yes, yes we do." We all climbed back in and got to go around. That day, we got to ride the Texas Giant 3 times in a row without getting off. It was the best trip I've ever had to Six Flags. So as you can see, sometimes it's darkest before the dawn. Just when it's the worst and you don't think it could get any worse, something comes along and makes it the best day. Sometimes you just have to give it time. And I want to thank my stepdad for taking us on that trip, so we have a memory, the best memory and the worst memory that we can share with each other. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Please enjoy 1 minute of silence.